Hello and welcome to our latest video.
In this episode we take a flight to Penang.
Hang on, just stop there. Why are we taking a flight? I thought this was a sailing blog.
Yeah, good question. Well, of course, Follow the Boat is all about the people and the places that we go to. And Penang is a very important part of our sailing adventure.
Yeah, okay, yes, that's right. And of course the other reason for going to Penang is to get our visas, because at the moment we're in Malaysia and we want to do some cruising in Thailand, and a little bit more difficult in Thailand to get visas over the border for long enough. So we're going to head to Penang to see the Thai embassy and pick up our visas there.
Yeah, and of course Penang is a place of cultural and historic interest. It's in fact one of our favourite places that we've been to in a while. So
yeah, we love it. We've had to do this trip a few times, so we just thought we would share with you what it's like to be a cruiser, because you do have to think about which countries you're visiting and how you're going to get around the bureaucratic requirements and visas and so forth. Anyway, on that note, Jamie, isn't there a problem with your passport and your visa?
Well, possibly yes, because I had spent so long in Thailand during the refit. I had been in and out of the country 4 times, and we had heard a vicious rumour in the bar one evening, in the sailors' bar, that you were only allowed 3 visa entries per year, and this was to be my 4th visa application, so there was a question mark over whether I'd get it.
Well, I think it's about time we skedaddled and got on the plane. Penang lies south of Langkawi on the northwest coast of mainland Malaysia. Before Kuala Lumpur developed into the international capital it is today, Penang was the economic and cultural hub of Malaysia. It was not only the original British colonists who shaped the island's capital, Georgetown. Much of the architecture and culture was influenced by later Chinese and Indian settlers. Some of the buildings date back to the late 18th and early 19th centuries. When Captain Francis Light took possession of the island on behalf of the East India Trading Company in 1786, he named the settlement after His Britannic Majesty King George III. In 2008, Georgetown was granted UNESCO World Heritage Status because of its unique architectural and cultural townscape found without parallel anywhere in East and Southeast Asia. Tourists move from one side of the road to the other, searching for shade under the covered walkways abutting Georgetown's iconic Chinese shophouses. How many of them realise they are walking in some instances on the original tiles laid over 100 years ago? As Penang's fortunes faltered, some settlers moved from the old trades into more lucrative services, and many of the present-day shops and guest houses became gambling establishments or opium dens. Voted in 2014 as Lonely Planet's #1 destination for food, Penang is equally renowned for its canteens, restaurants and hawker food market, which feed locals and tourists well into the night. From cheap $1 street stalls selling skewered fish cakes to more adventurous double-roasted pork dishes with fungus, food in Penang is spectacular. Georgetown is fascinated with art and design of all kinds. In 2012, Ernest Jakarevich was commissioned to paint a collection of murals within the inner conservation zone. Since then, artists have been adding their work to an increasingly exciting showcase of urban street art. Each street corner within the World Heritage Zone is designated by wrought iron comic scenes depicting characters or stories associated with the area. You can follow the free map entitled Marking Georgetown to uncover some unique perspectives of life in the city. Georgetown is a real cultural hodgepodge. Although the Chinese influence is greatest, it has its own little India too. A small gridwork of roads in the town centre is filled with the spicy aroma of southern Indian cooking, while Bollywood and Tollywood music splits the air through distorted speakers and gold-encrusted saris fill the narrow shops. You could be forgiven for thinking you were really in India. In the next few minutes, we're going to take you into a few of these ancient buildings. But we start with a trip to one shop that every cruising yachtsman and woman in the know visits when in Georgetown. Most cruisers come to Penang for two reasons: to secure a visa from the Thai embassy and to visit Mr. Ong of Langkawi.
We are on the island of Penang, on the northwest coast of Malaysia, and we're here at Chulia Street, which marks the beginning of the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Georgetown, and that's just down the road. But that's not why we're here. The reason why we're here is to meet Chulia Street's oldest businessman. Now, if you've been following us on Follow the Boat, some of you will have seen the interview that I conducted with Mr. Ong of Langkawi. And Langkawi is a chemical shop, and this is where a lot of the yachties come to buy their various cleaning products for their boats. So I've come here to actually interview Mr. Ong on video. There's just one problem. He's no longer here.
After 61 years of trading from the same address, Mr. Ong has had to relocate his chemical supplies business. This was our 5th visit to Langkawi, and we always enjoyed our lively chats with Mr. Ong, so we were pleased to see that the shop still appeared to be open, despite the workers outside shifting tons of sacks of chemicals. We spoke to one of the workers and asked if Mr. Ong was inside. He indicated that he was and said it was okay to go round the back and find him. We'd only ever walked through the ground floor section of the shop, never further than his painting of a ship. But since the worker had said it was okay to look, we ventured further inside, calling Mr. Ong's name. Mr. Ong trained to be a doctor, but after the Second World War, circumstances forced him to take a job to look after his family. He developed his chemical supply business and ended up with a worldwide distribution network, supplying schools and colleges, hospitals, and of course, yachties looking for those hard-to-find potions that make our boats more shiny. Here's a brief clip of Mr. Ong from a previous trip when we asked him where he sources his materials.
Well, they're imported mostly from Europe, from Korea, from Japan, from China.
Sadly, it seemed our conversation with the worker was a lost in translation moment, as disappointingly Mr. Ong was nowhere to be seen. We ventured upstairs and discovered more objects and apparatus, from beakers to bottles, and tucked away on the first floor, dissected animals. Later learned that Mr. Ong had not only moved out of the shop the day before, but had been taken ill, so we missed our chance for a chat. We're happy to say, however, that Mr. Ong has since made a full recovery and is now operating from his new premises round the corner on Pintal Tali Street. Still, this is an end of an era, and we were fortunate that we had met Penang's chemical man and experienced his atmospheric shop. It will remain one of the highlights of our visits to Penang. We mentioned that Georgetown is most famous for its architecture. Perhaps its most famous building of all is the Chong Fat Si Mansion, also known as the Blue Mansion. It can be found on Leith Street, squatting beneath anonymous high-rises in the northeast corner of the city. Built in the 1880s, the building design comes from the Su Chao dynasty period in China. Chong Fat Si, a rich Chinese merchant, filled his mansion with designs, fixtures and fittings from around the world, including floor tiles from Stoke-on-Trent, England, and wrought iron from Glasgow in Scotland. You can only visit the mansion as part of a set tour, and it's worth joining one if only for the amusing and informative guides who explain the importance of feng shui in Chinese interior design. The central courtyard is fascinating. The house was rescued from ruin in 1989 by local descendants of Chong Fat Si, and the last 20 years has seen a successful restoration project turn the mansion into both a tourist attraction and a hotel. Parts of the mansion are only accessible to hotel residents, but you can still peek through the doors to catch a glimpse of the sumptuous courtyards and koi ponds. At the other end of Georgetown is Armenia Street, one of our favourite areas. It is named after the Armenians who arrived in Penang in the early 19th century, and it is where they set up the Armenian Church of St. Gregory. The church has since been demolished. Armenia Street took on a decidedly more seedy appearance when Chinese traders and racketeers began to dominate the area in the early 20th century. Armenia Street is a mix of Chinese temples, art shops and museums, as well as local residences. It's easy to spend a whole morning on this one street. Just across from Armenia Street, up from the Kapitan Keling Mosque on Buckingham Street, is an old curiosity shop we like to visit from time to time.
One of the things that you'll find in Penang are all the little knick-knack and antique shops. This is one of our favourites. It's called Days Gone, and the proprietor is a bit of a character, so let's go in and meet him.
You like some New Year cake? You want to take some New Year cake?
Some New Year cake?
Yes.
What is it?
There's a
Thank you.
sweet sitting.
Oh, thank you very
So what's your name?
I'm Din.
Din.
Aladdin. If there's no you, it becomes Aladdin.
Aladdin. And this shop is called Days Gone, is that right?
Right.
Days Gone.
What you can see is what I sell, you know. all mixture, everything that my eye says, okay, I'll buy and sell it.
Where do you get it from?
Everywhere. It was my collection, from the village, from the town. Anybody brings anything, I verify it, I buy everything, anything. So that's my hobby from small. In fact, just now I was riding my motorcycle, I was thinking about why didn't my father get all the government, you know, the government used to dismantle all the old things and put new one. Should have taken the contract. Then I would have, you know, stock, a lot of stock. Now it's like the old fan we don't have anymore. old fan, old staircase, this and that. No more.
So how long have you been in this shop?
This shop is just about 8 years. Before that, I was everywhere in Penang. I was at the street market. I was born in an area called Georgetown. It's about 10 kilometers from here. 1948. Oh, my daughter lives in, she's living in Dublin. She is a doctor. She was trained in Cork. She was from Malaysia, yeah. England,
yes.
England is fascinating. I've been there once, twice. I crossed. You know, last June, we were in, I went to visit my daughter in Dublin, so we rented a car. We went through the English Channel, went to Belgium, France. We stayed in Amsterdam for 5 days.
But you've yet to go to Portobello Road.
Yeah, I've yet to go to Portobello Road. I don't know. Don't know whether I will have the chance or not. And also America, you know. I tell you, America, fantastic thing. I think the most they have in America, antiques, fantastic, really, really fantastic. I wish one day I can go there and buy, you know. Thank you.
Liz, you found something in amongst this treasure trove of gear. What have you got there?
Yeah, well, in the treasure trove, he has a lot of enamelware. We don't have any on the boat, and I think it's about time we did. So what was really useful for us are little pots for putting things in, and these are the smallest ones he does. So I asked him how much, and he said 12 ringgit each, so I said 2 for 20, and he said yes. So they come from Queen brand, that's the name of the brand, and they're made in Czechoslovakia. So Czechoslovakia hasn't been around that for quite a few years now, so they've got a little bit of age on their side, but I love the colours and they're really useful for us.
The people start rushing for money and everything is on down and building coming up, and now you see the traffic is hell. You can't drive in Penang. You want to go to one place, you want to go to the airport, you better make preparation for 2-3 hours. Then you go.
So when did this change happen in Penang? When did it?
The last 10 years, 15 years. The last 15 years I can say, yeah. In the 19, starting of 2000, year 2000, you know, they started all these things. 1980s, 70s still okay. 90s, they start waking up, they open up the eyes. The tigers start open the eyes, and 2000 they got up and start this thing, you know.
This man is such a good host. He's making us coffee.
Yeah, I'm preparing some coffee. Oh, yes, the same. Take it easy, don't stress. You must believe in God, and God will give you, and God will test you. That's my motto. So if anything bad happen, it's just God testing you. So you have to be patient. You can overcome. You know?
Walking around the streets of Georgetown is addictive, and you can easily cover a few miles before realising exactly how tired you are. Too hot and bothered to walk back to your hotel? Try Georgetown's traditional mode of transport.
Well, of course, Penang is popular with tourists, and I always say it doesn't matter how much you think you've travelled, ultimately when you visit a foreign place you are just a tourist. So we've never done this before. We've done possibly the most touristic thing you can do in Penang, and that is to get a cycle rickshaw. It's late afternoon, we're a little bit tired, and we couldn't be bothered to walk back to the hotel, so Indian Muslim mosque, which we visited last time. In all our visits to Penang so far, we've always concentrated on the sights and the cultural aspects during the day. But this evening we thought we'd do something a little bit different, and we'd come to a place called the Canteen, and this is quite an incredible place. It's a bar, restaurant, coffee shop, canteen, live music, club, and we're going to do a little walkthrough. So we have a rather splendid coffee shop with some extraordinary cakes here. And I think Liz has got her eye on the Black Forest. And if you don't like the Black Forest, there's another 20 cakes to choose from. Looking through, we have a little dining area. Upstairs, I don't even know what's upstairs. There's something up there. I think it's an art gallery. Another bar. Vine and single. I'm not sure what that means. A library, a reading room as they've called it. This is my favourite bit. This gorgeous outside area. We're quite early at the moment, so not many people here, but I imagine this place livens up in an hour or two. They've got live music on tonight. Wan and Aaron, whoever they may be, according to their flyer, they are one of the best singers in the world. Or is that two of the best? Anyway, continue our way through. And into the main bar where we'll have the live music later. Reasons why we've come to Penang is to get our new Thai visa. There's just one problem. I have spent so much time in Thailand over the last year. There's going to be a question mark as to whether I'm going to get it or not. So we've given our visas to the agent who takes them to the embassy. It takes 24 hours to process, so let's go inside and see if I've got that visa. Yeah. Great. Thank you very much. Two shiny new Thai visas.
Hooray!
Yes, we have our Thai visas finally. So this means we can finally cast the lines and make our way over to the beautiful island of Koh Lipe in Thailand. So next video clip, expect to see lots of sun, sea, sand and sailing. And if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, then just click the little red button down in the corner there.
And check out our Patreon page for prizes and name checks.
Yeah, we need a link for that, Liz.
Can do my own button.
Yep, go on then. And don't forget to
Follow the boat.
Follow the boat!
Follow the boat!
Follow the boat!
Follow the boat!
Follow the boat with a big smile.